The big news for our local fans, guys, is Zach and your team is the Panthers have picked up a quarterback. Almost got a trade for Baker Mayfield is what I'm reading. That fell through, and you guys pick up a quarterback. Is it Corral or Coral?
I don't know how they're pronounced either.
I didn't know. Dang it! I was hoping you did.
I didn't. But with he's arguably with the three that they had, that was the top three. He's arguably the best out of the three. I mean, it's a crapshoot this year with those guys. So that's why it went down to the second round. I think Pickett went, which surprised me. He went off the board first.
Zach, hit that computer button one more time. Let's see if this works.
Matt Corral. Matt Corral.
Corral.
Matt Corral.
Not Coral.
Matt Corral.
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 In the South, we're going to say Corral, but it sounds quicker. It sounds like Corral.
Correy. Is that
Matt Corral?
It's showing Kral. Corral.
Okay.
Corral, like corral.
Okay.
I'll pull it up, Terry. Maybe. Why is that not showing the?
And he come from where?
Mississippi.
Ole Miss.
So Lane.
He was the one that got hurt in the.
Oh yes.
This is Lane Kiffin's.
He was the one that got hurt in the first half of the.
We'll let Tom put his headphones on and tell us. So Matt Corral.
Matt Corral.
Look in front of you. I've got it.
That's the way I've heard
Matt
it.
Corral.
Kral is
Matt Corral.
So very quickly, instead of corral or coral, like instead of corral, like you're here in the with some horses here in the South, you need to say corral as quick as you can. Say corral as quick as we're trying to help our fans. Tom, we're going to say this for years.
Corral.
So we're doing an extremely important job right now.
He's liable not be on the field.
He might not even make the team.
Who's their backup right now to Sam Bradford?
PJ.
Matt Corral.
Their backup might be Baker Mayfield.
Not now.
Hurry up and trade for him.
It's fell through, Tom. That's what we were just talking about.
I
had
know,
to trade
I
up
know.
to get
It's
this guy.
Not fell through all the way yet. Not yet. Not yet. There could still be a possibility. I think. You know what? I think Baker is going to be a Cleveland Brown next year.
No, they got four. They're going to have four quarterbacks. You know what I think's happening is that the team decided they didn't want to give up this year's capital, and you'll get next year. You'll get a pick after the draft next year, second or third round next year, maybe or fourth. Second through fourth for next year's draft for somebody.
Who?
Don't know.
Well, the strategy may be hold on to him until somebody has an injury, and then they'll trade for him.
Obviously, but. Or do they tell him to stay home? Because mandatory in their contracts, they're supposed to show up. So
I wouldn't tell him to stay home. I'd cut Brissett. Cut the other guy they got from Pittsburgh.
And go with two quarterbacks.
Go with two quarterback. Well, he might keep Brissett, too.
That would be $60 million in the quarterback position.
Oh, yeah. That's way too much. But, somehow they still have some cap space. So,
with the report, think about how bad the media frames Baker in this light. Because remember, this is what he did last year. He got injured, right? And he played through it, right? And this was my thing, Terry, one of my issues I had with the Cowboys and how they did with Romo. They got injured. They don't let they just threw him. They threw him out. They didn't even let, thanks for playing. You don't even get a chance to come back healthy. They let Romo come back and play one drive. He marches down the field, scores a touchdown. I'll get out of there before you embarrass the rookie anymore. And then he didn't even get a chance to come back, who's been there for years. And what Baker did for the league, for the team, and then to just, now you're out of there. Like, it was weird seeing me watching Deshaun Watson sitting there with Bernie Kosar. I'm like, do you not know he's going to stab you in the back in 4 years or 3 years, just like they did Baker?
Yeah.
It's all coming. This is a business. None of these people care about these people anymore.
No, they
don't.
But
it just, there used to be an old adage, you don't lose your job to injury. And now you do.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what was weird with the same with the Drew Brees. They're like, well, his arm's getting low. Let's put in Jameis. Well, how did that work out? Congratulations. Jameis can throw it 75 yards to nobody. Drew Brees can throw it 40 to everyone. Which one do you want? I mean, it's just silly to me. Like, and then, so again, now what do you do? So Baker's in a bad situation. And what I was going to get at, this is how they framed it: disgruntled Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield. I just won the first playoff game in 30 years, and you just traded for a rapist, and you call me the disgruntled one. Whether or not whatever you think about Baker's attitude and how he acts and whatever it is, but to call him and frame him as the disgruntled one, yes, he's disgruntled. You just traded, embarrassed me after I played through an injury, won you a playoff game, and then you traded for a rapist.
They shouldn't have let him play.
That is very much an argument.
It's not his decision to play. That's the thing, and I know the way he is, but I would say, I'm playing. No, you're not. I don't care what the doctor said. No, you're not playing. We'll play. We're paying Case Keenum $10 million to be the backup. Might as well get a little mileage out of him. Maybe if he wins half his games and you can come back healthy at the end, we might be able to do something. I have no idea why they continue to let him play. I know he won. I know it was his choice, but it wouldn't have been. No, throw a hissy fit. You're not playing. The whole thing was just been mishandled. And if you're going to, the one thing I don't understand is like, okay, well, you could say he's locker room issues. He's a problem in locker room. Nobody likes him. You can't get along. So you trade for this guy who's going to bring you a different kind of negative press? I just didn't understand that. I mean, talent-wise, it's an upgrade, yes, but this ain't going away. I mean, he impressed him in the interview, but he's not impressing people in his depositions.
Deshaun Watson is accused rapist.
Yeah,
not a rapist.
So he's not doing very well. He's going to face no criminal charges.
Right.
But it doesn't mean he won't be suspended by the league. And they're saying that they're postponing it till after he might not face suspension till 2023.
So it was either all a big setup or a lot of it's true. With 20-something people. So either way,
he spends a lot of times in massage parlors by his own admission.
Right.
And that's not.
Which is fine getting massages. 100% great job. But you could also, you would think that the young man could find the women without having to pay for them.
Yeah, but I was
is that the issue?
also, I think that one of them wasn't even really a licensed massage therapist, and he went way out of his way to go see this one particular massage therapist.
Listen, Robert Kraft told him where to go, and he got the hookup. Tom,
man, I don't know. I mean,
is that not the same issue, same situation?
I don't know. I mean,
Did Robert? They say we can't suspend Deshaun because Robert didn't get suspended, and
I would have been happier going if you're gonna get rid of him because the guy's a locker room issue. I'm fine with it. Go with somebody else for a year and then draft a guy. I just think it's just too much back. I don't want to say a guy's you're not convicted in a court of law, then you're not convicted in a court of law. But
100%.
it's just. I don't know.
It's a weird. The whole thing's a weird situation. I just think it's weird how they just framed him as the disgruntled quarterback. I'm like, yeah, he probably is. well, all right. So Tom, they get him a wide receiver and a couple of defensive players. Then we'll get back to the Panthers and we'll finish here in Dallas in a second. But receiver on my ranks, I think it said 15th best receiver. And that's third round. I guess they all went pretty quickly.
17 receivers went in the first 3 rounds.
2 Ohio State receivers in the first round.
Back to back.
Yeah, we'll go down the picks here in a few moments.
Olave and Wilson, yeah.
And I was looking, they was, you get down to the 7th, 8th, 9th best player at the position, and you still got some players in number 1 in their position in the draft. I've always go with best available sometimes.
As opposed to 15th?
Yeah.
Right? Well, Tom, the wide receiver defense, right, for the Browns, 2 defenders.
That guy from Purdue, and then they got the guy from UAB.
I'm gonna read you guys the scouting reports. Things quit moving around on my screen here. All right, so the cornerback. I don't know how I feel about this scouting report on this guy right now.
But the one that went 3. No, that's not.
This third round.
I think they drafted him because of his size. He's a big corner.
What your analysis on that by reading what I was about to say? I was about to say this, Terry. See what you think. Does this not sound like more of a safety than it does a corner when I read this?
But they want bigger corners.
He's tall, long, and he's slow though. He's tall, long, and strong. Press zone corner with slightly below average time speed. He redirects receivers at the line of scrimmage and shows good awareness in zone. He does a lot of holding and grabbing, and he's not a ball hawk. Is that a sentence you want written about your corner? He does a lot of holding and grabbing. He's not a ball hawk.
He's not going to start. He's going to be a nickelback.
His lone interception came as a freshman, but he separates receivers from the ball and has length to get late pass breakups. He's a physical run defender and a solid tackler who fights off blocks. Post-draft analysis, a big and physical man-to-man cover. Emerson was one of the most underrated players in this draft class. At 6'2", 200, he's a boundary corner that can play opposite of Denzel Ward. So, real quick, Tom.
Now, here's
does
my
that not
opinion.
sound like a safety?
Yeah.
When
here's
it
my
that?
opinion. When I mentioned him and you read what you read, I'm like, if the wide receiver gets by him, I've got a safety got to play over. They got to play over with him because he's going to get beat.
Denzel has to be shut down no matter what, right?
Nah,
he's not going to be playing on the outside unless there's an injury.
He is a boundary corner.
He's not going to be playing there. They got 3. They got Williams still on the team, and they got Ward and Newsome. He's not going to.
So this guy's not even going to make your team?
He'll make it, but I think he'll be a slot. He'll play a little slot corner. I don't see him on the boundary.
You can't put Slow in the slot. Slow and big. Tommy says he's a boundary corner. He's a zone corner. He's a cover 2 zone corner. They don't want him going
This is what you would be matching up. He's going to play a slot, and he's going to match up against CD
Tyreek Hill.
CD Lamb. Yeah, or Hill. Yeah. One of those is who he's picking up.
I'm just saying, I don't see him playing on the outside.
The slowest corner in the draft's got Tyreek. No, what they'll do is they'll put him in.
Guess what? That's probably not going to work.
He'll have 15 yards in. He'll have first down marker in.
Yeah,
is what that
nickelback, something like that
is what that means.
I don't see him playing on the
defensive end from UAB. Alex Wright. Wright is a long and talented edge defender. Who now see this is position ranked Zach 7th. The last guy was like 16th. So Wright is a long and talented edge defender who can shoot his hands and walk back offensive tackles to the quarterback when he rushes the passer. He has room to grow as a pass rusher, but flashes as a hand fighter and has the speed to cross the faces of offensive tackles and bends well for his size. For you defensive end enthusiasts, you understood all that. Wright gets overwhelmed by double teams when he lines up head-to-head on the tackle, but he's effective setting the edge, playing outside tackle. Myles Garrett posted 16 sacks that last season. Free agent Clowney was the only other Browns pass rusher with more than 3. Winovich didn't record a sack with New England. Wright has the tool set to improve the pass rush this season and develop as a starter opposite to Garrett. Tom?
Well, yeah, you draft him because they haven't signed. Clowney's still a question mark. There's all this rumor mill that he's going to sign, but he hasn't signed
with
yet.
Him drafting there, is that 100% that he's not going to? Then you don't spend the 20 on
you
that.
can never. I think defensive linemen are like defensive backs. I don't think you can have enough of them, Terry. I think you just
that's what I'm saying. Just what's the price tag of not having 10 sacks say in a season? You know what I mean? Like good, but it's like the receiver's not getting 1,000 yards. Like the Jarvis Landry is Clowney like a Jarvis Landry where he's good to have and he's good. And that's what we're about to talk about. David Bell, when I read this, sounds exactly like Jarvis Landry. David Bell's a crafty route runner who's quicker than fast, separates underneath from underneath man, and has the football instincts to settle into windows, working against zone looks. He's a hands catcher with good body control. He holds on to the ball after taking big hits. Among the 32 receivers who ran the 40-yard dash at the combine, he was the second worst. He doesn't project as much of a big play threat as Jarvis Landry. So they replaced Clowney and Landry, boom and boom, right there. So position rank 15, David Bell of Purdue. There's your Cleveland Browns. Thoughts on him as I move over to the Panthers.
Well, they needed a wide receiver, and they went out and got one. But the guys, you're picking in the 3rd round. You know what I mean? So your first wide receivers in the 3rd round, you're going to get a marginal guy like that, some good, some bad. So I don't think it's a bad pick. I mean, if they
Terrell Owens is available.
Who?
Terrell Owens.
Yeah, I heard he's coming back.
He caught a touchdown in the league he's playing in.
USFL?
No. It's the
it's
fan controlled
down.
league. It's an arena league.
Yeah.
He caught a touchdown the other day.
Congratulations.
But go ahead, Tom. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, that's probably about the best you can get. You needed somebody who could play in the slot, and it sounds like that's where he's going to play, and we'll see how it works out. But you've got to. I'll tell you what, you better nail these 3rd rounders, right, Terry?
Yeah, or you don't have any players.
You don't have any players. You gave away all your picks.
All right, 1st round draft pick, Carolina Panthers. Terry, we're going to have to talk with Terry and Zach on this one. Terry, tell us about this offensive lineman I'm about to read about, and I'll let you tell you what you think about him. Ekwonu, is that right?
Yeah. He's, as far as him go, he's a very good pass defender for North Carolina State. Very few guys got around him. Very good blocker. Shields very well when you got him on the outside. So, I mean, for Carolina, Dallas would have took this guy if he'd have remained there, but we knew he had been gone way before then. I think Carolina got a heck of a deal here.
Yeah. Before we got him out, it was great.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, is that too high at 6?
No.
Not for a left tackle.
No.
It says Ekwonu is an aggressive run blocker with the power to knock defenders off the ball and drive them into the ground. In pass protection, he's extremely long and jolts rushers with a powerful punch. His pancake reel is outrageous. He sometimes oversets and needs to be more patient, but he has the foot speed, length, and strength to quickly develop into an effective starting tackle at the NFL level. That's what Steve Minch says, whoever that is. Post-draft analysis, even though the Panthers drafted Christensen a season ago in the second round, Ekwonu gives the team a day one starting tackle, left tackle, paired with Taylor Moton. The two give Panthers a formidable duo. The best run blocker in the draft, Ekwonu solidifies Carolina's blind side. Projected 1-year impact, day one starter. The Panthers needed a big-time attention opposite star right tackle Taylor Moton, and Ekwonu brings immediate impact at left tackle. Highly intelligent offensive lineman who would dominate day one in the run game and who has power, agility, and balance to become a great pass protector. So, Terry, any other final thoughts for us, Zach, about what he thinks?
The only thing I'm saying about Carolina is they impressed me by not going to get a quarterback.
Yes.
I love that right off the bat. You're trying to protect your quarterback, whoever it's going to be back there, and you went for an offensive lineman. You know, and I gave them a check from day one they picked him.
All right, Zach, your thoughts on the lineman there first before we talk about the quarterback?
I don't think they thought that he would be there, and I think when he was, they went ahead and got him a smart thing to do. They didn't reach for a quarterback, so I'm happy with him by all means. We hadn't had a left tackle in who knows when.
Well, it says the last thing. It says what sets him apart from other left tackles. Now remember, this is in total set. This is just one guy's opinion on this, obviously. Let's see. It says the last thing the Panthers expected was a choice between the top 3 left tackles, between him, Neal, and Cross. And what sets him apart from the other 2 is that he said, whatever this means. Coach said he's a tone setter. New offensive coordinator Ben McAdoo wants to build around a powerful running game, and none of the tackles define that better than Ekwonu. So he's a human highlight reel of not only knocking over defenders but staying with blocks until the end. Ekwonu sums the best on his style. He's violent and physicality, run blocker.
There's what I think is the difference from him from a lot of them. He doesn't give up on his tackle. Even when the play can be over, he finishes you off.
Yeah.
How many state games win this year?
State? Oh,
Yeah.
we've won. As a matter of fact, in the college football history book of the last 3 years,
Is that what I asked?
North Carolina State has won as many games as 9 other teams. So there you go. So where does it come from? Protecting your quarterback, and he'll do that.
What
for
did he
Carolina.
just say? I don't understand what he just said.
I don't know. I was just going to say that.
What state's record last
I was
year?
just going to say
That's all I got to say.
that I agree totally with Zach. I thought that they might,
And me. I was on that list too, Tom.
Whatever
and they
you
might
just said.
reach and try to get
Yeah.
a quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Pickett went.
Oh,
Pickett's
goodness.
the first quarterback taken, right?
And he
by
went to Pittsburgh
Sure
at like
was.
20, 22, something like that.
Oh, I love the quarterbacks. I mean, Malik Willis and all of them, they thought they were never going to get picked.
Willis, I think, went the third.
Who got
84th.
Willis? Who got Willis?
Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Okay.
84th
Which
or something
shocked
like
me
that.
a little bit.
Not until the 4th round,
Third
Round.
3rd round.
Yeah, we've
Late.
had 3 rounds.
Yeah.
The last 3 are
3rd round.
today.
That's right. That's right.
4th, 5th, 6th. No, I think the last 3 are today.
It's confusing
last
the way
4
they do
today.
it now. It's just spread it out over so many days.
Or
I was
maybe-
afraid we was going to get Sam Howell.
Has he been drafted?
No, he's still
No.
the last quarterback.
Remember
on the
one
board.
time he is up to one of the first ones being picked.
Well, that's
what?
they said, like,
That
Okay.
shows you how bad the projectors
That's
are.
what I'm saying. These people get paid. Like, I want one of these jobs where I could just be terribly wrong. Not even just be slightly wrong. Like he might be the top overall pick in the top 15. Some of those are saying it's the day 4th round here, Tom.
That's what I'm talking about. And Malik Willis was one of those that figured go first, second, or third. And I'm like,
He
what?
wound up going,
84th or something?
yeah.
Well, maybe to put a little chip on those boys' shoulders, and they'll
Well,
have a
here's
little
the
bit
thing.
more motivation.
Quit doing that. Quit doing that to the guys.
Do you know what you call the guy who finished last in medical school?
A doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah.
So guys are going to be a football player. Just relax. You'll get to go out there. Matt Corral's got a chance to He's got just get a good chance anybody to start.
He does.
Does he not?
Yeah,
He does.
Even I've never even seen him play.
You got to make it, and that's what he's on.
All right, so here's the let me read the take from ESPN. I don't even know who this person is. My take is outside of getting Liberty's Malik Willis, this was the best outcome for a team needing to add a young quarterback behind Sam Darnold. All Fitter gave up was a 4th round pick and next year's 3rd rounder for a player coach Matt Rule said. All they gave up was a 3rd round pick and a 4th round pick. Trading for the Browns, Baker Mayfield was an option if they had agreed to pick up a large portion of Mayfield's salary. But long-term Fitter wanted a rookie with low salary to develop, as he did in Seattle with Russell Wilson.
Then that's going to make me really mad if the Browns do something like that and say, okay, well, we're going to pay $11 million of his salary if you take him. They better not do that. I mean, they better not do that.
That's what the rumors being, that they're going to pay some of it if they don't take
Because nobody wants him, Don.
That's what I'm saying. It's just, how can you trade for a quarterback and Baker's not part of that deal? I mean,
if nobody's going to want him, you can't just let him go. Yeah, like Tom said, you almost have to just deactivate him and just sit him there until someone.
Just sit him there until somebody has an injury, and then
I don't know what
you
else
can
to do
make
at
a
this
trade.
point. Everybody's being
I'm
silly.
gonna tell you something
Everybody's being
else.
silly about it, really.
Well, if you watch this draft,
we'll jump real quick. Dave. We'll jump through a ring of fire for a 4th round pick. There's a playoff winning quarterback that's available. Like he's got as many playoff wins as Lamar Jackson
in top
here.
15.
What would they be giving up for Lamar Jackson right now?
That's what we're seeing. You have too many teams right now who are saying, I'm not paying all this money to this. I'm going to go over here and find me a rookie that I can pay for 3 years or, maybe 4 and get something out of him. And then when it's time for him and he wants more money, heck with him, buddy. I'm going back and get me somebody else.
I mean, think about it. If you're Matt Rule, your job is on the line. If you don't have a guarantee from ownership, you don't make this pick, do you? Yeah. Because he's got to win this year.
Yeah, he has to.
That's what we think, right? As a fans, don't you think he has to this year? Because if he don't have, or Zach, if he don't have a guarantee from Tepper that he's going to at least improve and be, what was y'all last year? 5 wins, get to 8 and 8 or 9. Like, I mean, why would Rule make this pick? This has to be a GM pick. If the GM's making it pick, then you're looking at Rule, and Rule's got to be like, fired. Well, crap, I gotta this.
Maybe he wants to hit a batter because it's 98 degrees, and he just wants to get fired. Maybe he wants to get fired.
That's Terry.
I don't
keep his money.
I don't think. I mean,
Terry, that was so wildly crazy that I have to think about what Zach said to figure out, then add up what Terry said just to figure out. God,
but
Kevin,
you're operating. You guys are operating on the presumption that he's going to start. I don't think he's going to.
No. I'm operating on the assumption they just wasted a 3rd round pick. I know Sam Darnold's starting. What I'm saying is that if you're Matt Rule, you don't pick him unless you're assured I'm going to have time to develop him.
Do you not
screwed.
think what he did?
Well,
I think they picked him thinking they're going to trade for Baker. Why would you pick him?
I'm saying the G. This is a GM's pick, not a coach. I think Rule wanted Baker. Because if you're Rule, you want the playoff winning quarterback to come in.
Because you don't have time to wait on.
You got him and Darnold. I got to win this year.
But is it not
either Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield's got to win me games? Yeah. If you're the GM, you're like, I don't want to pay Baker Mayfield $18 million when I can pay the rookie.
Right.
This is a 100% GM pick. It just said Federer.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Federer wanted a low salary to develop as he did in Seattle.
Yep.
This is a 100% GM pick. So Rule, this is a shot at Rule. You got your quarterback, make it work. So it's either Tepper's giving him 3 more years, no matter what,
and they might be setting it up,
or they're doing. You've got to win if Sam Darnold this year, or you're out, and then now you got a new coach
on a rookie deal.
Hey, watch this, guys. Who's Corral's quarterback in college? Not quarterback.
Coach.
Who was Corral's coach in college?
Yeah,
Lane Kiffin. Welcome to Charlotte next year, boys and girls. Tommy, he's coming on down. Yes, he is.
Everybody,
Matt Rule's going to get fired. Watch Matt Rule get fired because Sam Darnold will win 7 games and not have a winning record. They'll bring in Lane Kiffin to coach his quarterback to Carolina. Zach, you ready for Lane Kiffin there?
No.
I don't think that. I think that's a little.
You'd have to pair him with.
Is that not real?
Hey,
they do it all the time.
He went and got one college. He'll go back and get another.
And they give him 7 years.
There's a 4'11" quarterback in Arizona because the coach used to be his coach in college.
He's not 4'11".
Do you think Tampa's going to stay with
You're
Rule?
such a jerk sometimes.
I just wanted to make the
You're
point
such a jerk.
that they drafted him number
Hold on,
one.
Marty.
Drafted him at like 7 and 8's fine. But he got drafted number 1 overall and has the same agent as the coach. That's what I'm saying. This could be one of those situations where
Well, Kyler Murray's pretty good.
Lane,
He's pretty good. I mean, I know he's not big.
He's
but
neat.
pretty good.
He's fun to watch. He's a good tick. He's a little LaMelo Ball of
He's Muggsy.
of
He's
the
Muggsy.
NFL.
Muggsy.
I bet Kyler Murray's taller than you, Kevin.
That
You're gonna
he
go
might
back to
be
back.
probably is. That's why I'm not in the NFL. He should be either.
4'11". Come on, man. Out of body.
I
What
miss-
a jerk. What a jerk.
Okay, so I misspoke and said 4 instead of 5. Misspoke. So anyway, Zach. So again, so that's where I feel where
Yeah.
you guys are. Either Tepper gave him said, "Look, I'm gonna give you 2 or 3 years developer," or it's you got to win Sam Darnold. That's
I mean, they're trying to. But you look at what we picked up and stuff like that. We built some good stuff this year. Like or even last year, they were building. And we started off 3-0, and then train fell off the tracks. And
I like going back to the pick though. That's why I like to get linemen because that guy's probably going to be with your team.
Yeah, for a long
For a
time.
when
long
we
time.
did this last time, we did something like this. It was Jordan Gross, and he was a guard. He wasn't the left tackle, but
Yeah.
still, we kept him for what ever.
Yep.
Another one was the Cleveland guy, Joe Thomas. That they picked him. Didn't reach for a quarterback. They could have reached it. Remember, they needed a quarterback that year. That's the year they got Brady Quinn. They could have reached and got Brady at that spot if you remember that whole deal. And they said, no, we're going to take Joe Thomas. And thank goodness they did. They had him
and he's Hall of Famer.
for years. So I'm good with, trying to shore up because that's gonna be protecting your quarterback, whoever it is, for the future.
Yeah.
And you always got to have a left tackle. We ain't had a left tackle in Charlotte. I can't tell you who we've had. That was good.
Yeah.
And overall, though, I like the way the teams went with offensive linemen, defense. Didn't try to get cute. You know what I mean? Get you a good solid
I'm
player.
still surprised that the wide receivers come off the board in the first round like they did. I don't know if y'all seen it, but it was like 5 in the first round, 5 or 6, and that's kind of odd.
That's the NFL now, though.
But everybody needs
Gotta
6,
have
7
pass-
wide
yeah.
receivers.
Maybe they all want them on rookie deals because they want to get them now, so they don't have to pay $30 million.
Well, look what you're paying Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I wonder if that had a lot to do with it.
Look what you're
It's
paying.
talking about the wide receivers coming off with the wide receiver pay going up so much. People want to
is
keep
that why
them on the
everybody
rookie
drafted
deal.
him.
It's possible.
And you know what? I was wondering, when was the first running back taken?
End of the first, very end of the pull it
Walker?
up, Kevin. I want to think it was
Well,
like 28, 29, 30th, something like that.
Remember when we were kids and it was always like the running back would be
Oh,
number
yeah.
1 overall, but that's not even, if one goes in the first round, it's almost surprising now. Unless it's like,
They're not valued.
no, because they don't last long.
Where'd he go? Where'd they wind up going, Kevin?
Second.
Second round?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
we
Brees
didn't have a
Hall-
running back in the first round. Wow. No running backs in the first round.
17 wide receivers in 3 rounds.
Yeah.
It's got to be the pay
Tells-
scale. It's got to be the pay scale.
Well,
That's
it's-
too many coaches playing Madden. It's getting silly. Listen, you don't need. We know and we've seen over the years. You don't need the leading rusher in the NFL, but you got to be able to run the ball.
Yeah.
You can't just come out there and throw it around.
Well, they do the same thing a lot of times too. They're doing the same thing in NFL that they're doing these other things where they call they're trying to set up these algorithms and all this whatever you want to call these things that they do. But remember when they were saying for a long time we're not going to pay running backs the money, and then we're not going to pay wide receivers. And now one guy goes and then everybody's going to follow suit and pay somebody $30 million.
It's so they're the running backs, it seems to me, are the ones that have been trapped / hurt the most by their CBA or whatever it is. So, for example, their probably primes are really 20 to 25, right? Well, if you're in college, you're losing one of those, if not 2 of those, to your years. If you get hurt in college, now you're losing 3 of those getting paid. Then you go to the NFL, like you remember with Zeke, Terry. After was the second, same thing with McCaffrey, second, third year, they're asking for money and to tear up their rookie contracts because now we're 4 or 5 years into 152, 300 carries in my body, and I've only been paid for one of them. It's how they have to be fit. They have to feel so. Their age range is different to me than wide receivers can play till they're almost 40. But running backs we see all the time that they're 2-3 years on average and are out.
There's
and they
no
run them in
Walter
and out.
Paytons. There's no Emmett Smiths. There's none of them guys anymore.
We don't, and Terry, half of, I don't know if it's, we should have those guys is what's bad about it. I don't think these coaches commit to the run at all. And you've seen Jason Garrett over the years sit there and with Romo, where it's Dak, whoever it is, never commit to the run. Tom, you sit there with Nick Chubb and watch him get 15 carries in a game. And you're just like, he needs 10 more. What are we doing here?
The Green Bay game sticks out in my mind where they were running the ball and all of a sudden they want to throw 4 straight times and got beat.
Averaging 6-7 yards a carry, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like that means if he gets 3, the next one he's getting 13. Like,
That's
come
why,
on.
That's why Deebo Samuels is pushing his way out of San Francisco, is because he don't want the body to take the toll. He wants to play longer.
He don't want to be a slot. He wants to be a solid wide receiver where somebody else has that slot position.
Because the longevity of them is gone.
McCaffrey's going to. That's what I said, Tom. Might as well offer him Baker for McCaffrey so that it doesn't eat into their cap space at all. And then now we move him to slot. Play out there that
I mean, we got a problem with McCaffrey. I was one of the ones that don't give him the money.
You're in a issue with him. You're right.
They gave him way too much money.
Well, Zeke got too much money too.
Zeke
So
got
I mean,
too much money.
and
We've
once that starts happening, now what have we seen?
Right.
Now we're seeing wide receivers get 30 million.
That's just stupid.
Come on, y'all.
Somebody think about it. The average white Terry, if you catch 100 balls in a season, divide that by 17, that's 5 catches a game barely, right? Or 6 catches a game. You're paying someone $20 and $30 million for 6 touches. That's why I'm like, you can give Nick Chubb 25 times.
Think of that, y'all. Think of it.
Or we're paying somebody $30 million to get 6 touches a game tops. If you get 10 catches at a game receiver, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's right. It is weird. It's like the offenses, they're almost like the NBA offenses. It's not like they're getting more. They're not even getting more points, but they think they are.
Doing it
They're
different ways,
spreading it
faster.
around. They're spreading it around faster, but they're not actually getting more points. It's the same number of points. And then Terry, instead of one guy like Herman Moore or Michael Irvin getting 150 catches, it's getting spread out among these other guys. And Zach, I did read one thing about Corral I wanted to point out here in a second. And I'm gonna go find his thing in a minute. Yes. So he is an RPO quarterback. And also I'm gonna read some other stuff. Finish it off. He isn't polished. He has physical skills to challenge defenses with his arms and legs. Smart board, here it is, so people at home can follow along. And leadership is a strength. There's no pressure to rush him in a starting role, as Darnold can do the job with a revamped line. They still need to add a edge rusher, some other thing. Add an edge rusher, linebacker, safety, and perhaps a defensive back or tight end. But they have filled their 2 biggest needs with left tackle and quarterback there. I wanted to click on his name because I thought I saw the overall draft part. In a set right here, and let me read it to you because I did see a different analysis earlier that I wanted you to hear. There's Kenny Pickett. That's not who we're looking for. Matt Corral. All right, this is what I wanted to read you, Zach. It says his release is lightning quick.
I think it's faster than the draft. Which
lightning
is good.
Quick, and we'll break this down in a second, and it may be really good, and you may have a steal, you may not. We'll see how it comes out though. But there's something I'm worried about in this, and I'll read it to you. Crowd's release is lightning quick, and he gets a good zip on his passes. He creates run after catch opportunities with his pinpoint short to intermediate accuracy. His deep accuracy has always been hit or miss, and he doesn't show great feel for adjusting trajectory to drop the ball in. That is the most important sentence I just read there. In the NFL, if you can't do that, you're going to get picked off. You've got to be able to throw in trajectory, drop it over those dropping linebackers, dropping defensive ends, drop anybody. They drop Warren Sapp. They drop the defense tackles now. But that's one thing, Terry, that I thought Romo was fantastic at. Was throwing it right over. It's like a basketball pass right over the defender to a guy, in the post. He's throwing it over the guy and dropping it in, and that right there, it kind of worries me. He can work on it, maybe they can work on it, but to me, that means he's probably trying to throw darts on the arrow, but he says he doesn't have a good deep ball. So if you don't have a good deep ball and you can't throw it over a guy and be accurate with it, all you have is the guy has to be wide open and you put it on him, right? Or just slightly throw it ahead of him. He says he can lead him, but that kind of worries me if you can't throw it over somebody. It's the guy's got to be open, right?
I'm gonna say this, and I don't know how they ever did Dak, but I think Dak would have been. But Dak could throw it deep, but I think Dak was about the same type. Dak, when he first come in, you was wide open. He never threw to you if you was covered hardly. And Dak's got better at that as his years in the NFL has progressed.
That's something Cam never did.
So, you know.
It says they drafted by the best player available and managed to get a potential developmental quarterback. Shouldn't be a surprise if Corral pushes veteran Sam Darnold with his arm strength and dual threat ability. Rule was rumored to be comfortable with Corral in the pre-draft process and now has him in the locker room. So, Zach, there's your...
was it an ACL he tore in that game? I can't remember what the injury.
It was a leg. I'm 100% sure that he, you know.
All right, real quick, we got to finish up draft because we got to get to the playoffs. Let's see, go back to the top of the draft. Are y'all surprised by the number 1 pick? Did they make a mistake there?
It was
not picking Hutchinson.
Yeah, it was a question. They thought the Hutchinson. It was a Hutchinson guy, the second.
He
from Michigan. They thought he should win
going
to the Lions.
To the Lions, so he gets to stay in Michigan. So you know,
terrible,
sell
terrible
a lot of jerseys.
Is he from Michigan?
I don't know if he's.
If he is, that's got to be a bad deal.
And the crazy thing is, you
grow up there. Hey, I'm gonna go to Michigan. I love Michigan. Man, I'm gonna see the world. Detroit Lions.
Some people like to stay home.
Come on down. Yeah, but it's
He's
Detroit.
in a dome.
It's
I'm surprised the 2 cornerbacks went through third and fourth. That's all. That's unusual.
Detroit's had a revitalization there, Kevin.
Yeah, they'll be better this year.
Of course, they do have. I did see a website that said the ruins of old Detroit.
I don't know
like
any
ancient Rome.
I don't know any of these guys.
Buildings.
Panthers getting 6. How about the Giants? 2 picks at 5 and 7 with a defensive end and a tackle tear. They got
nothing wrong with
and
that.
they did not pick up the 5th-year option on the quarterback.
Hey, that could be a trade landing spot, Tom. Think about the press with Baker Mayfield in New York.
Oh God,
they're going to see how it goes with him, but they didn't pick up his 5th-year option.
Ohio State receivers go back-to-back at 10 and 11. Wilson and Olave. Did I say that right? Olave?
Yep.
I mean, think of all the picks Detroit had up at the front. I mean, you got to get better, do you not?
No. Well, they had to get a pick up front every year.
2-12. I know.
Yeah, but I mean, what he had, like 3?
They did.
Up at the front?
You've got Kenny Pickett, the first quarterback, going to 20. So Pittsburgh gets their quarterback. So last year, or 2 years ago, Terry, if you'd have told me that the Browns would have Deshaun Watson and the Steelers would have a guy from Pittsburgh back in town, I don't know what everybody thinks about the quarterbacks. We'll see how this goes. All right,